Hello?
Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. How are we, good peeps? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever the hell you are. Become a warrior teacher. Buy me a coffee. Join me Substack. Do a super thanks. Whatever it takes to get this done. Let's get going, people. Let's keep going. I've got a good one here from Reality's Last Stand on the old Substackage. So it's in the doobries for you all as usual. This is interesting. So let's take ourselves through a bit of this, and then you can pop over and have a read. Okay, so do read it, remember, please. Right. This is from one Beth Bourne. I pretended to be non-binary to expose a medical scandal at Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser gender specialists were eager to approve hormones and surgeries which would all be covered by insurance as medically necessary. Begins Beth. On September the 6th, 2022, I received mail from my Kaiser Permanente Davis OB-GYN, which I believe is obstetrics gynecology. It's reminding me of a routine cervical screening. The language of the reminder stood out to me. Recommended for people with a cervix. From 21 to 65, people with a cervix. Women! It's women! Don't you know it's women? I'm going to clip that and have that as my phone ringtone. Don't you know it's women? It's just madness. When I asked my OB-GYN, the gynecologist, about this strange wording, she told me that the wording was chosen to be inclusive of their transgender and gender-fluid patients. Based on this response, several thoughts occurred to me. Could I expose the medical scandal of gender-affirming care by saying and doing everything my daughter and other trans-identifying kids are taught to do? Would there be a type of medical safeguarding and differential diagnosis we would expect in other fields of medicine? Or would I simply be allowed to self-diagnose and be offered the tools, that being hormones and surgeries, to choose my gender, adventure, and become my true, authentic self? So a vested interest here from Beth, but nevertheless, a slight satirical edge to her writing. If I could demonstrate that anyone suffering from delusions of their sex, self-hatred or identity issues could qualify for and easily obtain body-altering hormones and surgeries, all covered by insurance as medically necessary and potentially life-saving care, then maybe people would finally wake up. I certainly had. I was prepared for failure. I wasn't prepared for how easy success would be. A fascinating start there. So this brilliant article. Graham always said this, Gunnar, didn't he? He always said this. He always said, the trouble is, I thought once I tell people what's going on, they just go, oh, it's horrifying, we must stop it. We forget to see how ambivalent and solidly fixed in their ways people can be. I am a 53-year-old mum from Davis, California. Oh, it says CA. Could be Canada, I don't know. My daughter began identifying as a transgender boy, social transition, and using he, him pronouns at school during the 8th grade. Like several of her peers, who also identified trans at her school, my daughter was a gifted student and intellectually mature, but socially immature. Time and time again we hear this. There was a recent article, I believe, that said the top 1% thinkers are the ones that are more likely to identify into this crazy cult. Which ties in with what we know about cults, is that the people who are smarter tend to be more gullible. They'll get caught by cults and con men. This is something that's already known. So it's interesting, isn't it? Once again, here we've got an intelligent individual who is socially less intelligent, socially maybe slightly awkward, but they fall for the lies of the LGBTQ nonsense merchants. This shift by this individual coincided with her school's sudden commitment to and celebration of a now widespread set of radical beliefs about the biology of sex, with gender identity sort of thrown in as a side thing. She came out as trans to her father, my ex-husband, and me through a standard coming out letter expressing a wish to start puberty blockers. She said she knew they were safe, citing information she had from Planned Parenthood and the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, or WPATH, as they are better known to you and I. So this young lady was caught by the usual clowns, being Planned Parenthood, and WPATH sounds to me like this is California rather than Canada, So we're in America. To say I was shocked, continues Beth, would be an understatement. I was also confused because this announcement was sudden and unexpected. While others quickly accepted and affirmed my daughter's new identity, I was apprehensive and felt the need to learn more about what was going on. Events began escalating quickly. During a routine doctor's visit scheduled for dizziness, my daughter said that she was experiencing. The Kaiser pediatrician overheard her father using he/him pronouns for our daughter. The pediatrician seemed thrilled, quickly asking my daughter about her preferred pronouns and updating her medical records to note that my daughter was now, in fact, my son. The paediatrician then recommended we consult the Kaiser Permanente Oakland Proud Pediatric Gender Clinic, where she would get further information and gender-affirming treatment. That term there, gender-affirming, is not what it doesn't mean. It means body. It means mind and body destruction. That's what it means. Now, Beth says, I was the one feeling dizzy. What follows is Beth's story. What follows is what Beth then did in an attempt to understand how this dreadful phenomenon had ended up at her door. And as usual, I will say to you, Beth has bothered to write it. I think it's fair that you should go and read it. You'll find the links in the doobries, as usual, so down in the doobries. Please do go and read. I think the stories of detransitioners, of trans widows, of mothers and parents who have stories to tell of what's happened to their children or to their loved ones in any other form, niece, nephew, grandparent, grandchildren, etc. I think those stories are probably the most important stories that need to be told when all is said and done. We've seen a number of videos come out lately that have some of those stories. We've seen a number of stories come out from not just parents with inconvenient truth about trans, but also from trans widows and children of trans. These are the stories that need to be told in order to show the absolute horror of this cult belief system and what it does. Go read Beth's story. It's worth hearing, reading, engaging with. Other than that, come be a warrior teacher. We're starting the third week in March. More adverts going up soon. Got a few already. Dr. P is coming to the warrior. Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be great. So I'll see you later. Have a great day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. That leaves you with a very, very wide field to play in. Bye-bye.